Safe to say there will not be a New York Jets logo tattooed on my left ass cheek. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Da Mafia Show. Say that you're new here. My name is Dan Mitchell. I'm an avid member of the Bills Mafia, and I regularly put out videos about the Buffalo Bills and the NFL in general. If that is your cup of tea, I highly recommend that you subscribe to this channel and join the family. And as always, smash the ever-living out of that like button. As you read that title correctly, the Buffalo Bills ended up scraping away their fourth consecutive win. I've been telling you guys. I have been telling you ever since our little losing streak that we own December football. We are going to get it together. And while there's still some kinks in the armor, I think that this team is really taking a very good step in the right direction. This video, I'm just going to be celebrating things that I thought our team did amazingly, and then I'll also nitpick a little bit on things that I think that we need to improve on. Because I know that a lot of people, specifically Jerry Sullivan, think that our offense is nowhere near a Super Bowl caliber unit. I don't think that it's worth to be running around like the sky is falling. Right before we dive into some of the shout outs and some of the complaints, so I do need to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be Prize Picks. Prize Picks is hands down the #1 player prop bet parlay solution on the market today. Super easy to use. Simply pick anywhere between 2 to 6 players. So as long as you predict correctly based off of the projections that Prize Picks offers, you have the opportunity of making some serious money. And the best part about it is that they are actually hooking up my audience, that if you sign up with the code DONMAFIA, they're going to match up 100% of your initial deposit all the way up to $100. They're essentially giving you free money. And if you know what you're doing, you can turn that into easy money. So whatever you're doing, stop this video real fast and download Prize Picks today. So let's just call it how it is, ladies and gentlemen. I know that a lot of us were not necessarily pleased with the overall offensive functionality, but I want to put a couple of things into context for all of us. Number one, I feel like a lot of Bills fans just hold on to that stigma that the New York Jets are not a good team. They have an elite defense. They have a cornerback that gets away with more pass interferences than you have ever seen. An amazing front seven. There's really no weaknesses on this defensive side of the ball. And then you have to incorporate the fact that it was probably one of the worst conditions on the face of the planet for our team to be playing in. Snow is one thing, rain is one thing, but a wintry mix mixed in with the wind. I mean, you saw all the drops out there. So I know I certainly did. I feel like we need to be proud of this unit being able to find a way to win, right? I look back at some comments and some tweets of everybody always complaining, right? Like, oh, this offense is not being as dominant as usual. So, but then I remember tweets from last year that were more centralized around the fact of we can't rely on our offense to win us every single game. We need our defense to bail us out every now and again, or otherwise we're not a Super Bowl team. And hence, the Bills give you that. And then now the goalposts have been moved yet again. So while it wasn't the most beautiful performance from our offense, although that I do have, some reservations that I need to get to about it, I think that we need to be happy that our defense was the one that literally won us that game, right? Mike White, I know that he doesn't have a lot of experience. However, he is historically efficient when he is behind that line. And our defense absolutely showed up. I mean, right between those big splash plays, we need to give giant shout outs to those forced fumbles. Our defensive line looked absolutely immaculate. Everybody was absolutely nervous that with Von Miller being out, that there went really any hope of having any sort of pass rush by itself. And so, but look at these stats right here. Matt Milano with 7 tackles, 2 assisted tackles. Dane Jackson had a damn game. Poyer, of course. And then really when it came down into our young defensive ends with A.J. Epinesa, had an amazing game. Gregory Rousseau, absolute stud. And Shaq Lawson, highly fundamental defensive end. It goes to show you that that Von Miller effect is absolutely true. What he has been able to rub off on these young defensive ends and defensive linemen is really paying its dividends. We controlled the line of scrimmage that entire game, and we need to be happy about that. Our defensive tackles, while it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, They controlled that line the entire game and literally held the New York Jets to just 12 points. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but last time we played them, they ran the ball all over us. But while they did end up putting up some yards between Bam Knight and Michael Carter, we were able to contain it in a much better tone. So our secondary looked absolutely great, and with Trey White, it still seems like that he has a little bit of rust to knock off, but that's certainly promising. Jordan Poyer and Matt Milano being out in that field, that's just the proof in the pudding right there, that if those two are out there, the Buffalo Bills winning is a very, very good shot. The defense looked absolutely amazing, and if I had to credit anything to this win, it's gonna have to be our defense. So I really hope that we can have a very similar performance against Miami this coming Saturday night. Now, as far as things that upset me about this game, I mean, listen, I think that every Bills fan on earth is going to be upset that we punted the ball literally 5 times in a row and we didn't score until literally the end of the first half. It was an overall messy game. I mean, I can reflect back on that one play where Josh Allen missed a wide open Stephon Diggs. I mean, if you watch that replay, Diggs more than likely would have took that to the house, right? Then there was drops everywhere. There was Isaiah McKenzie drops. There was bad decision making from Josh Allen. The thing is that I do kind of want to nip in the butt is that a lot of people are not a fan of Ken Dorsey. They think that this is him, right? They think that this is his play calling. They want him to start scheming out for more wide open guys. The thing is that I see a lot of that on tape. I see a lot of that on the game. The thing is that it's execution. It's execution, which is not necessarily living up to par, right as it has in the past. I think that this offense right here can get the job done. I do think that we are going to see that dominant Buffalo Bills offense again. There should be nothing that we have to worry about. I think that the play calling is completely fine. It's just a matter of execution. If we can get this execution down, then we're going to see the same old offensively dominant Buffalo Bills that we are used to. So overall, I know it wasn't the sexiest numbers in the face of the planet, but the Buffalo Bills found a way to win, right? I mean, right now, what are we? We are 5-3 when it comes into one-score games this year. That's just another narrative dying. We can't expect us to blow out each and every single team that we play, and this was a narrative that haunted us for the longest time. And I think that this team has been showing a lot of resilience and winning those close games, because that's what it's going to be in the playoffs, are close games, and what this team has been showing me. And so regardless of injuries and regardless of where the game is being played and regardless of the weather conditions, the Bills team is finding a way to win, and it's looking at different units within the organization to step up when the other one isn't necessarily playing at its 100%. And that's how a championship team has been built throughout the ages. So I'm feeling very optimistic, very excited about this Dolphins game coming up. I'm going to be in Buffalo. Funny story. I'm leaving Thursday, and I'm going to be there from Thursday to Monday. Really hoping to run into a couple of you guys. I know that I'll probably be out for a couple of drinks out in like the Hamburg area. Maybe Buffalo, and then of course I'll be tailgating. I'm thinking about tailgating around Danny's South, so I'm either going to go into the game and watch, or I might decide to go to one of the bars around the stadium and watch the game from there. I will keep everybody updated. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.